She's a lawyer, an advocate, and leader in the community. She's Wala Blegay, and she wants to keep you in the know because times are tough and you need answers.
Welcome to In the Know with Wala Blegay, where we will explore issues that are impacting our community. And today we are blessed to have Senator Nina Turner, who has been a force to reckon with in the progressive movement, and also she is the president of Our Revolution, a Bernie-backed progressive organization. And Nina has been so amazing because she has committed herself to keeping the Democratic Party accountable. And she started off in the 2016 election. She became infamous. She was supporting Senator Hillary Clinton before, and she actually decided to support Senator Bernie Saunders. And what she did was she got forefront in the national light, focusing on keeping the Democratic Party accountable. And today, that's what she has committed to all across the country. She has been supporting candidates who are progressive and pushing the progressive agenda and making sure that the Democratic Party ensured that there was space for progressives in not only within the party, but even the messaging of the party. So we're happy to have her. She's going to talk about what Our Revolution is doing and the future of the progressive movement and what it has done and what it will do. Let's listen in. We're here with Senator Nina Turner, president of Our Revolution, and it is a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you as well.
Yes, so tell us your story. Now, the progressive, you identify yourself as a progressive.
I do.
Okay, and tell us how you got to that point. What is the story that led you to identify yourself with the progressive movement of today?
A hell-raising humanitarian, though, really describes me. And I had to lighten the mood a little bit. I take a bit of that. You know, Mother Jones was certainly somebody that was out there for coal miners in the 1800s, and she talks about praying for the dead. And she said, I'll pray for the dead, but fight like hell for the living.
I hear you.
And so I take that and I say, that's how I roll all day long, at all times. That's how I roll. But no, you know, just my experience. You know, I was on the Cleveland City Council for a while, and then I was blessed to go to the Ohio Senate. I was a Democratic nominee for Secretary of State in 2014. And it was through, and I also had experiences of working for other elected officials. So I've been in this ministry, I like to call it that, for a very long time. And it's just through experience to understand what that type of power means and what you can do with it, and that the systems in this country, whether it be local, state, or federal, just the systems here, that we have the ability through the people's power to make those kinds of changes. So a lot of what I stand for, especially in the space of, you know, making sure that we have college for all, making sure that we have health care for all, really comes from, well, my lived experience. You know, I'm a first-generation college graduate. I'm still paying off college debt.
I understand.
You know, so to understand now that the system is totally rigged in that regard. I mean, it's rigged socially, politically, economically. We can do another interview for that.
I know.
But then when it comes to Medicare for all, you know, my mother died at a very young age. She was only 42 years old when she died. And she died, you know, had an aneurysm, you know, 7 children. I'm the oldest of those 7 children. I was a first generation. I was actually a sophomore at a community college at the time, you know, married and had, you know, my son. And now all of a sudden I am the real mother now to 6 siblings and my son. So now it's 8 of us, and then my husband, that makes 9. So that's a lot for a 22-year-old.
Right.
And so it is through my lived experience that I most relate in the deepest way to the people who have the highest mountains to climb.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, you know, in 2016, you decided to support Bernie Sanders, and at that time,
in 2015, I did.
2015. Oh, interesting.
The latter part of it.
All right. And so that time, a lot of people looked at the Bernie movement and said that it's very white, and there wasn't people of color. But you stood out there, and now we have candidates winning all across the country that are identifying themselves as progressive, and also were former Bernie supporters.
Absolutely. You know, Senator Sanders was very much ahead of his time. He always has been. We can go back to his record 40 years ago. He was still singing from the same hymnal. He has not changed. Black people or brown people are progressive. You know,
Right.
they might not necessarily label themselves that, but the people who are the most oppressed need government to react the most, to have these deep policies that said Medicare for all, and then within that system to understand the disparities that comes with being black in this country, the disparities that comes with being brown in this country. And also, you know, we can't leave out our poor white sisters and brothers either. But yes, it is, the progressive movement is really the Rainbow Coalition. Now, the group that might be the most forward-facing may be our white sisters and brothers, but I've traveled to almost 40 states in this country thus far since latter part of last year into this year, and I have met progressives from all walks of life. But when your point about the candidates, I mean, you have Stacey Abrams, the Honorable Stacey Abrams, holding it down in Georgia.
Right.
You know, she has the endorsement of our revolution, also Senator Sanders. We got Mayor Andrew Gillum holding it down in Florida, running as an unabashed progressive.
Right.
And then one of our very own, Ben Jealous,
yes.
holding it down in Maryland. You know, he's a former board member of our revolution, just out there, and they are champions for all of Medicare for all, college for all of these things that we know that will lift the quality of life of the least of these, our sisters and brothers, and they're not running from it.
Right.
And most of the polls show that most Americans, regardless of their political ideology, are right where we are. They're right where the senator is. They're right where a Congresswoman, you know, Shirley Chisholm was, and how she stood up very strong, or Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. So these ideas, their time has come. What is the true mark of a leader is somebody who will stand up for what is right, regardless of how it polls, or regardless of whether it's popular. But now our ideas are popular, and other folks, everybody want to be a progressive now.
Everybody,
whether they really want to not. Check the records now. Check the receipts.
right. Look at the
Some of these folks ain't real progressive.
Right.
They just using the buzzword. Yeah, we need to check some receipts.
Right.
But you know, our ideas are there. They're not extreme. You know, 70% of Americans believe that we should have Medicare for all.
Right.
That is a beautiful. Look at how the world has changed.
Right.
In 2 years.
In 2 years.
That means that when you have the courage to stand up for what is just, for what is right, and for what is good, regardless of what it looks like in that moment, baby. Right. Oh no, your ideas will break through. Yes.
So finally, you said you travel across the country, and I just want to ask, what are you hearing? Because a lot of people have blamed, you know, that Trump was able to appeal to people because of his message. And as you're going through the country, what are you hearing from people?
Yeah, the same thing. I mean, I just came back from Alaska. I was in California, but before I went to California, within the last 2 weeks, I was in Alaska. I was in Wasilla. I did not see I did not see Russia. I had to get that in. No, but I was in Anchorage, and I went to Wasilla, and it's quality of life.
Right.
They want a better quality of life, even though the unemployment rate is down, and it's down. Listen, we can't say that it's down.
Right.
But that doesn't mean the quality of jobs are up. People are still working 2 and 3 jobs just trying to make ends meet. In Alaska, for them, it's about the environment too. You know, making sure that clean water, clean air, clean food, and I hear that all over the country. But it's jobs, homelessness. Oh my God! Well, I mean, I just came back from Oakland in the Bay Area, and just when I was in San Francisco, and also in Oakland, stepping over every step. Homeless breaks your heart. So we cannot be the wealthiest country on the face of this earth and treat people that way. And a lot of it that I understand from, you know, some of the activists and also elected officials has to do with the cost of living there. It's so high, and the rents are so high, so people can't afford to stay in their apartments. And that's why they have Prop 10 right now in California to have rent control. And their slogan is the rent is too damn high. Yes. And it really is. But that just speaks to why we need elected officials, people who are elected to have the people's power, who are ready, willing, and able to stand up for the people of this country, starting with their basic needs. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You can't get to self-actualization if you're still worried about a roof over your head, or if you're going to eat, or if your children are safe. You can't self-actualize that way. So there are too many poor people in this country, too many people struggling. And then one other thing, when I was in Oakland, I stayed at the Oakland Marriott. And a lot of the employees there had buttons on their uniforms and it was Unite Here, I think, is
Right.
pushing this message, which is one job should be enough.
Right.
So
oh, wow, I
amen
love
to
that. I
One
love
job
that.
should
I
be.
love
It used to
it.
be a time where one job could do
Was
it.
enough. Now it's not.
It's
enough.
not enough, and then the other job was extra, so you
Right.
can stash some stuff.
Right. Right. Right.
Now you need 2-3 jobs
Right.
just to make ends
Right.
meet.
That doesn't even mean
We can't sustain.
Right.
We cannot sustain this way. So voices like yours and programs like yours, and just for your viewers, just knowing that titles are good, but purpose is better.
All right.
And everybody is full of purpose. Many hands make for light work. We need more hands in this movement to continue to strengthen it, so that we create a better future for ourselves, a better present for ourselves, and a better future for our children.
Well, thank you, Senator Sanders. I am
Turner.
inspired. I mean, seriously. Senator Turner.
They
I'm
say
so
we
sorry.
look alike, though.
You do not. I am so sorry about
Twins,
that.
Senator Sanders and Turner, twins. Yes.
Sorry, Senator Turner. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much. I am inspired. I love your energy, and I hope that I can be like someone like you.
Oh my God. Well, you are well on your way. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.